Check, check.
The following is a presentation of the Game Time Sports Network.
From Dave Hall Field on the campus of Columbia State Community College in Columbia, Tennessee, it's the 2026 TCCAA Region 7 Baseball Tournament. And now, it's game time.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Columbia, Tennessee. We are on day 2 of the TCCAA Region 7 Conference Baseball Tournament. Rained out yesterday, so 4 games today. 10, 1, 4, and 7 are the scheduled times to winners bracket games. First game is Chattanooga State taking on the number 13 seed Walters State Senators, and last year's conference tournament winner. And in game 2, we have Columbia State, the host team, playing Dyersburg State, the upstart Dyersburg State Eagles, who won their first game, defeated Cleveland State, the number 3 seed, and we'll take on Columbia State in game 2. Games 3 and 4 will have Cleveland State against the loser of this game, and then Southwest Tennessee taking on the loser of the Columbia State Dyersburg State. See the umpires and the head coaches, Dave Shelton for Walters State and Greg Dennis. Jay Harper will effort to chat with Dave Shelton. As you hear, and there's Jay Harper with Dave Shelton.
student-athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask all spectators, coaches, and student-athletes to show respect for the opposing team, game officials, and each other. Persons throwing objects, the use of profanity, racist, sexist, or other abusive comments or actions in opposition with good sportsmanship will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the facility and are subject to prosecution. Thank you for your cooperation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the starting lineups. First, starting with the number
All right, thank you, Jay. Jay with Coach.
Number 2, the second baseman, Ben Morgan.
I'm just trying to. Dave Shelton, as they got all the way to the championship game last year in Grand Junction, Colorado, and lost to Salt Lake Community College in a slugfest. And they are hoping, as all 6 teams here in the Region 7 Conference Tournament, hoping to get to Grand Junction. Of course, they'll have to play a 3-game series with the Georgia winner. Let's get you our starting lineups, as the public address announcer is announcing those here, but we'll get them to you on the Game Time Sports Network. For the visitors, the Chattanooga State Tigers with a 32-15 overall record. Leading off, Ben Morgan, he's going to play second base. Ty Newton, the two-way phenom for Chat State, the freshman, will bat second, play third base. Tyler Schaefer at left field batting third. Logan Wallace over at first base. He's the cleanup hitter. Center fielder Coleman Neese bats fifth. Taylor Head at shortstop batting sixth. The DH is Hunter Rather. He'll hit seventh. The 8-hole hitter Tyler Husky is out in right field. Batting eighth, and Luke Sweeney batting ninth, and he's behind the plate, and he is catching Benny Miller, a right-hander who is on for his 16th appearance. And Miller is a 5'10", 170-pound freshman from Knoxville's Farragut High School. He's going to face one of the top hitting teams in the country in Walter State, who comes in with a 24-6 conference record, 46-10 overall, and they are the number 13 seed, or 13th ranked team in the country. Leading off, Cole Fenton, the sophomore. He's a shortstop, and batting second is one of the players of the year, Holden Pantier. He is the conference player of the year at third base, batting second. Caden Blair behind the plate. As our national anthem is on, we'll get the rest of the starting lineup.
Walter State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walter State.
As a first-generation college student, estaba un poco nerviosa. I knew I would need extra support, but I didn't know where to find it. At Roan State, I have a success coach to help me with every step along the way. Para más información, visita la página roanstate.edu.
And Clint Brummett says play ball, our public address announcer, here all day long. We are on the Game Time Sports Network, on YouTube, on, what else are we on? We on Twitter and Facebook, Huddle, all kinds of places you can find Game Time Sports Network. You can go to the GameTimeSportsNetwork.com and see all that's happening on the network. Later on the day, Jay Harper will have the call of the softball final, and it is the if necessary game between Volunteer State Community College out of Gallatin and Chattanooga State. Lady Tigers out of Chattanooga. Chattanooga State's had a stranglehold on the conference for the last several years. Blythe Golden, 8-time Coach of the Year. And this year, Vol State Christian Lynn won the award. And a lot of first and second team all-conference players will be playing right next door here while the 4 baseball games are going on. So if you're into the JUCO softball, catch that game. I believe it will begin at 2 o'clock. Shouldn't have any rain issues today. As you see, Major Osbolt out on the mound getting his warm-up tosses. Let me finish the Walter State lineup. We'll start all over. Cole Fenton leading off, playing shortstop. Holden Pantier batting second, playing third base. Hayden Blair behind the plate, hitting third. Drew Blaylock out at first base, hitting cleanup. Kenny Cox is the DH, batting fifth. Miles Shore in right field, bat sixth. Jackson Berry bats seventh. He'll play second base. Brady Dalton's in left field, hitting eighth. And Luke Graham in center field, batting ninth. And Major Osbolt is on the mound to face Ben Morgan. Osbolt delivers the first pitch that is just outside as we are underway, just a little before 10 a.m. Central Time. Game time temperature 60 degrees as we begin here. Game 1 of 4. Ben Morgan lifts one high out to right field. It's well hit. Miles Shore right on the warning track hauls that one in for out number 1. Morgan not known as a power hitter. He is known as an on-base leader. Flies out to begin our contest here today. Now Ty Newton steps in, switch hitting freshman playing third base. He is also a right-handed pitcher. Takes a called strike. Newton out of Freeville, New York, but he finished his high school career in Rockville, just outside of Murfreesboro. Takes a ball inside from Osbolt, who was last week's national pitcher of the week. And the conference boasts the last 2 weeks of that, as Newton gets under that one and pops it foul over toward the softball field, Eddie Campbell Field. This is Dave Hallfield, former head coach here at Columbia State. Osbolt delivers, swing and a miss, and down goes Newton on strikes. He's a first-team all-conference pitcher and a second-team all-conference hitter. So Osbolt picks up the strikeout. Third in the conference in strikeouts, 81 of those in his 56 2/3 innings coming into today's action. 15th appearance of the year. It's his 13th start, 6-1 record as he faces another left-handed hitter, Tyler Schaefer. Schaefer from Portland, Tennessee. That's up in Sumner County, just in the backyard of Volunteer State. He lines one out to left field. Brady Dalton back, and he makes the catch on the well-struck line drive to retire the side. Osbolt 3 up, 3 down in his half, and now Walter State will come get the bats and see if they can put anything on the board here. We'll be right back on the Game Time Sports Network.
Yeah, always leveling up her game. Soon she'll be ready to start building worlds and bringing them to life. How about Tony? He's forging ahead, learning how he can build his own business and help others. And Timothy? He's flipping the script and charting his own path. Soon he'll be reaching new heights with his degree. What do they all have in common? They're always moving forward. So what's stopping you? Elevate your skills and conquer your tomorrow at Southwest Tennessee Community College.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient, it's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
Benny Miller on the mound for Chattanooga State. They were one of the 10 teams that had to play-in games to get to the 6-team tournament. I happened to broadcast their 2 games against Volunteer State where they played at home. Benny Miller got a relief appearance in Game 2 of that series. That was a 13-3 victory for Chat State. A tight game in Game 1 that Ty Newton ended up winning with a grand slam in the bottom of the 9th inning as Vol State was leading 11-9. And he hits a grand slam with 1 out to walk it off, and then Mercy Rule win 13-3. Benny Miller in relief of Chandler Richardson went 4 innings, no hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 6 as he faces Cole Fenton. Cole Fenton looks at a called strike. Cole, a freshman phenom last year for Walter State. He's from Dyer County. That's where the home of Dyersburg State. Fenton having another outstanding year. Came in hitting .405. He's playing in his 57th game of the year. This is the 57th game for Walter State. Nearly hit with that pitch. Inside. 24 doubles, 8 home runs, 63 RBIs for Cole. Second team all-conference shortstop. This league had a lot of really good shortstops last year. As that one's lined out to center field, Coleman Neese ranges over into left center field. Track down that line drive for out number 1. Neese can go get him in center field. That'll bring up the player of the year, Holden Pantier. Third base. He was also a second-team all-conference selection, as was Cole Fenton. Last year, Fenton was also a Gold Glove winner. Pantier leads the nation in a couple of categories, doubles with 28, hits with 100, and he's in the top 10 in a number of offensive categories. Backs away from that breaking pitch from Benny Miller. He's second in the country in batting average at .488. He's second in RBIs with 103. Third in extra base hits. He's got 53 of those. Total bases, 200. That's good enough for third. I could keep going. Hey, don't think he's in the top 10 in hit by pitches, but nearly plunked there. He has been bruised 12 times. Walter State is 8th in the country as a team in hit by pitches. And there is a 1-out walk to Pantier. It's his 31st of the year. Hayden Blair coming to the plate. He leads the Senators in walks with 46. He also second on the club in home runs to Drew Blaylock's 25. Hayden Blair has 24 big flies this year. Runner on, 1 out. Blair from Sonoa, Georgia. 6'3", 230-pound redshirt sophomore. Miller of Farragut Admiral, one of the top high school programs in the state. I believe they're seeking their 5th straight state championship, and they've got a couple handfuls altogether. They're probably the Walters State of high school baseball, would be my guess. Walters State, 12 championships here in the TCCAA in the last 25 years. Chattanooga State, 3. Farragut's probably got 20 state championships, would be my guess. After first strike now, 2 balls and a strike from Miller. Tyler Schaefer's in left, Coleman Neese in center, Tyler Husky in right. They're all playing deep and around toward right field. And a swing and a miss on an off-speed pitch from Miller. Third baseman Ty Newton playing in the hole, the 5.5 hole, as Taylor Head, slick fielding shortstop, playing up the middle. Ben Morgan is in the dirt and with his heels on the grass at second base. That ball is hit in between first and second into right field for a base hit. Pantier's not stopping at second. And the throw comes into the infield. Walters State has something going here in the bottom of the first. A ground ball base hit for Blair. Blair comes in hitting .408. He's one of 5 Senators hitting over .400. Drew Blaylock just under it. He's at .381, but 25 home runs, 72 RBIs. Also will get on the mound from time to time. He's got 5 appearances on the mound. Runners at the corners. Just getting started here in game 1 of a quadruple header. Breaking pitch right across the dish by Miller. Luke Sweeney's behind the plate, as he is regularly for Chattanooga. He's from Dalton, Georgia. That ball's in the dirt, and it's going to lead to the first run of the ball game, scored by Pantier on a wild pitch. Down to second goes Blair. And Walters State leads 1-0. Walters, the number 6 team in the country in batting average. .383 team average. They're 4th in the country in home runs with 127. That's hit out to center field. Neese is going to have to get over to the right field side of center field. He hauls that one in for out number 2. 2 outs, 1 run in on a walk and a single and a wild pitch.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 29, Kenny Cox.
Kenny Cox, also a catcher, as the DH here in game 1. Cox hitting .426. He's got 9 home runs and 54 RBIs, 14 doubles. Another pitch in the dirt. Comes back quickly to Sweeney, but that's going to be the second wild pitch on that breaking pitch from Miller. On Presto Sports, the stats reveal that he only had 3 during the year, but those are not always accurately counted. That's a line drive base hit into left field by Cox, and Walters State leads 2-0. RBI for Cox, drives in Blair. That'll bring Miles Shore to the plate. Shore, redshirt freshman, 6'1", 205-pound outfielder from Marietta, Georgia. Stands in. He's second on the club in batting average, .432, playing in his 51st game. And like the shirt moved, his jersey moved a little bit, but probably in his movement to back away from that inside fastball. On deck is Jackson Berry. Another inside pitch. Shore takes for ball 2. Miles, 10 doubles, 8 home runs, 37 RBIs. Miller trying to find that third out. Sweeney had to take a quick stab at that pitch to keep it from the backstop. Backstop a little bit shorter than you'll see at other college fields. And as you saw earlier, there is a bit of a kick off of the padding. So as a base runner, you have to be a little bit careful. 3-0, misses inside, a 4-pitch walk, second walk of the inning by Miller. Only has 23 innings in his 15 prior appearances. Had only given up 15 hits, 12 runs, but had walked 18 while striking out 26. Had a 4.30 ERA. As he's getting a visit from Luke Sweeney and Logan Wallace. Both sophomores. Wallace from Ooltewah, Tennessee, one of the great city names here in this state. Ooltewah and Etowah. Cities in East Tennessee. Jackson Berry stands in the right-hand batter's box. He's from Science Hill High School, Johnson City. He grounds one to third, but it will go foul. Ty Newton fields that. Not sure if Dave Shelton is an aggressive third base coach to go after foul balls or not. Greg Dennis will occasionally go after one. Hopefully they're quick enough to get out of the way of some line drives. 0-1 pitch as Miller looks back at second. It's line foul, and Miller gets ahead 0-2. Breeze blowing in from center field toward the first base dugout here on the campus of Columbia State Community College. This is Tim Reese in for Jay Harper, who will handle some on-field interviews today, as he did interview Dave Shelton. That's popped up and playable to the right side. Logan Wallace in foul territory. It continues over onto the warning track just in front of the fence in foul territory. Makes the catch for out number 3. Walters gets on the board with 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors, and 2 runners were left on base. We're headed to the second. Walter State leads 2-0.
As a first-generation college student, estaba un poco nerviosa. I knew I would need extra support, but I didn't know where to find it. At Roan State, I have a success coach to help me with every step along the way. Para más información, visita la página roanstate.edu.
At Walters State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walters State.
Tim Reese back on the Game Time Sports Network. Producer, director Jonas Harmon is handling the computer, the camera switching. He's doing everything but the talking. He's working hard for Game Time Sports Network, student here at Columbia State. He's a former Creeker, Stewart's Creek High School. Smyrna. So is Smyrna your hometown? Is that right? Smyrna. He's a Smyrnoid, as we used to call people from Smyrna. It was a term of endearment. I don't know where it came from, but I hope Jonas doesn't take it personally at all. Just played some college baseball with a guy who came from Smyrna. It's the first time I'd ever heard of it. First pitch from Osbolt. Sounded fast. Ground ball to short. Fenton backhands, and he throws on to first to retire Logan Wallace. That's 4 up, 4 down. Wallace from Ooltewah, Tennessee, 6'3", 210-pound sophomore. Coleman Neese steps to the plate. Speaking of a creeker, this is a creeker right here. Coleman Neese, NEAS. Had a big 2-game series against Volunteer State this past week. Swing and a miss. Osbolt gets ahead. Osbolt winds and delivers high and outside. He's playing in his 44th game of the year. He's hitting .331. 6 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 41 RBIs. Not a big guy, and he is just taking strike 3 looking. Home plate umpire, Mark McNabney. Down at first base is Jake Britt, and down at third base, David Mayberry. Our 3 arbiters for today's game. Conference action brings 3 umpires. Normally during the year, JUCO baseball, it's just 2. Plate umpire and a base umpire as Taylor Head swings and misses. Head from Cedar Hill, Tennessee. That's up in Robertson County, north of Nashville. Went to Joe Burns High School. Swing and a miss. Hitting .324, 16 doubles, 4 home runs, 37 RBIs. Redshirt sophomore at Chat, and he swings and misses 3 times, and another 1-2-3 inning for Osbolt. And he has struck out half of those batters as we are headed to the bottom of the second. Walter State leads 2-0. You're listening to the Game Time Sports Network.
As a first-generation college student, estaba un poco nerviosa. I knew I would need extra support, but I didn't know where to find it. At Roan State, I have a success coach to help me with every step along the way. As a first-generation college student, estaba un poco nerviosa. I knew I would need extra support, but I didn't know where to find it. At Roan State, I have a success coach to help me with every step along the way. Para más información, visita la página roanstate.edu. As a first-generation college student, estaba
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient. It's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
8-9-1 due up for Walter State here in the bottom of the second, facing Benny Miller, right-hander for Chat State. Freshman, 5'10", 170 as he gets ahead of Dalton. Dalton, 6'1", 180-pound freshman. You know, I've seen this name of this town in Texas before. It's not pronounced like it looks. S-A-C-H-S-E. Sachet or something, or Saxy, or he's from Texas. It's a big state. He's down in the count 0-2, leading off the second. Dalton hitting .322. Chopped foul, and that hit off of his lower extremity. Apparently not fazed by it. Not hopping around like you see a lot of people. He is wearing a shin guard on that front leg, though. He's playing in his 46th game of the year. He's got 4 doubles, 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in, 127 big flies for the Senators this year. Need to look back at last year's. They led the country in at least a half a dozen offensive categories. I think they set their record for home runs a year ago. They had the JUCO Player of the Year as Dalton goes down on strikes. That's the first strikeout of the game for Benny Miller. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, center fielder Luke Graham.
Now batting number 26, the center fielder, Luke Graham.
Graham comes in hitting .286 from Yukon, Ohio. 6'2", 195-pound sophomore. Miller pitches from the stretch, and he pours a pitch that missed somewhere. Maybe down, maybe in. But it was called a ball. On deck, Cole Fenton. Walter State on a 10-game winning streak. That's not their longest of the year. Swing and a miss. They had a 12-game winning streak earlier this year. Their longest losing streak of the year, 2 games. That happened 3 times. Dead center. Tyler Schaefer pulled over to the line a little bit, and right fielder Tyler Husky over toward the right center field gap as that slider misses low and outside. We have a full count. I call it a Full Count Ministries full count. I broadcast for Full Count Rhythm under the Full Count Ministries umbrella in summer baseball. Coming up in about 3 weeks. Swung on and popped up. That will get out of play. Nice center field camera action right there. I love that look. Miller loses Graham. That's his 3rd walk. Last thing you want to do with this high-powered offense is give them free bases.
Number 5, Cole Fenton.
Fenton, the sophomore shortstop, lined out to center field to start the game. .24 doubles, tied for 5th in the country as he takes a pitch right down the can. Tied for 12th in total hits. He has 87 of those. Tied for 8th in runs with 84. Also tied for 8th in games played at 56, along with his teammate Holden Pantier. Second team all-conference selection this year and last year. Year after year, Walter State players are all over that award sheet. On deck, Holden Pantier. So Miller's looking for a ground ball to a middle infielder. 2-1 pitch. And that is grounded foul just beyond the Senators' dugout. They're in the home dugout. That's where Columbia State hangs out during their home games. The fightin' Desi Ammons, head coach for the Columbia State Chargers, hosting the conference tournament for the second time in 3 years. Runner goes and pitches popped foul. Tournament played last year at Chattanooga State. The year before that here at Columbia State. Dyersburg won the championship over Cleveland State in 2024. Throw over to first. Graham back in time. The next stolen base for Walters State will be their 100th of the year. Leader in that category. Who else? Holden Pantier with 16. Graham's 10 for 11. They've only been caught as a team 10 times. Slider misses down, and we'll have another full count. Don't think we're expecting a whole lot higher temperature. Runner goes, and it pitches outside. That's back-to-back walks. And the fourth walk is Fenton trots down to first. Holden Pantier with ducks on the pond. Assistant coach and pitching coach Mike Spears will go out and have a confab with pitcher and catcher. I think the word is confab. It could be conflab, but it's in the dictionary. I've looked it up. And I don't think it's one of those slang dictionaries. I think it's actually something that says Merriam and Webster or something like that. Not the Urban Dictionary, right? I mean, I do have a college degree, but it was a long time ago from a school not even known as what it was when I was there. It's back when university was known as a college. Belmont College up in Nashville. Now Belmont University. Big-time mid-major in basketball these days. And our football team is undefeated. Pantier draws the cross. I assume that's a cross and not a plus sign. Maybe he's an accounting major there at Walters State, but I'm going with a cross. He walked and scored the first run of the game, takes a pitch right down the can for a called strike. Game 1 of 4 today. Winners of the first 2 games will not play later today. Slider fouled off. Pantier with 22 long balls. Miller trying to figure out what pitch to get him out, and whatever it was, he did it. He strikes out. Holden Pantier struck out now 22 times on the year. You have more walks than strikeouts. You're doing pretty well, and he's 31 walks now and 22 strikeouts. And there's the second out of the inning, both via the strikeout. Now Hayden Blair singled his first plate appearance, stands in with 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the second. And there's a line drive to Ben Morgan, who's playing a deep second base, a diving play to keep that one off the grass and to keep Walters State from scoring in the bottom of the second. Put a star by that play as Morgan makes a sparkling catch of a line drive off the bat of Hayden Blair. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 runners left on base. 2-0 as we head to the break.
At Walters State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walters State.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient, it's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
Head to the top of the third. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Chattanooga State. They're looking for their first base runner. Major Osbolt delivered 2 3-up, 3-down innings so far as Walters State leads 2-0. These are all 9-inning games, but there is a mercy rule. 10 after 5, and I believe it's 8 after 7 innings. Chattanooga State run-ruled Southwest Tennessee 2 days ago in the first game of the tournament, 16-4. Dyersburg defeated Cleveland State. Cleveland State was a first-place team for a lot of weeks this past year. Hunter Rather, the DH, takes a healthy cut and comes up empty. Hunter, a sophomore. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Went to Oakland High School. A couple of swings and misses on fastballs. Rather second on the team in batting average, 361. Lays off the high fastball. Osbolt got Taylor Head on that pitch right there and thought maybe he could do the same to Hunter Rather. Osbolt with 3 strikeouts in the first 6 and make it 7. That pitch whispers at the outside corner for the second backward K of the game. Tyler Husky, he's also a Creeker from Smyrna, Tennessee. Attended Stewart's Creek High School, 6 foot, 195-pound freshman. Husky hitting .296, playing in his 46th game. First pitch he sees high and outside. 9 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, 33 RBIs for the Chat State right fielder. Osbolt has the sign and delivers. Don't have a radar gun that I can see, but Osbolt, like many Walters State pitchers, low to mid-90s typically. Not that you won't see every once in a while one of them hitting above that, but they can dial it up there pretty good. Missed. And a 3-ball count here to Husky, 3-1 with Luke Sweeney on deck. Husky waits and swings at another high fastball. And a full count to the 8-hole hitter for Chattanooga State. Another fastball swung on and missed. Looks like Osbolt's just going with the heater and saying hit it if you can right now, and he has set down the first 8. As the sophomore Luke Sweeney steps to the plate. Dalton, Georgia, 6'3", 195-pound sophomore. S-W-I-N-E-Y. He says it's Sweeney, though. Fouls that one off the screen. Osbolt a 6-1 record. He has a complete game and a shutout. 4.13 ERA leads the conference, or those who have pitched enough innings. A strike at the top of the letters. Sweeney's down in the count 0-2. There's a line drive into the gap. That'll get down for a base knock. It took 9 batters, but Chat State has their first base runner, and it is a solid single for Luke Sweeney. And back to the top of the lineup, Ben Morgan, who flew out to deep right field, his first time to the plate. Morgan from the Czech Republic, from Prague. He's 5'10", 185 pounds, and he's a freshman. Morgan is the second-team all-conference selection at second base. He swings at the first pitch, one of the very few breaking pitches that Osbolt has delivered. Chattanooga State, no player on the first team, but Ben Morgan, take that back, Ty Newton, thought was a first-team pitcher. He's not. He's actually second-team pitcher and a second-team outfielder. So he and Ben Morgan and Ty Newton, the only two for Chattanooga State. 0-2 pitch coming to Morgan, leans across that plate, pitches in the dirt, blocked nicely by Blair. You see Morgan as he leans across that plate. It's no wonder why he is second in the country in hit by pitches, 34. His on-base percentage is .591. Almost 6 out of every time, 10 times he comes to the plate, he's getting on base. 48 walks, 34 strikeouts, or hit by pitches. Breaking pitch, he checks a swing. No, he is down on strikes, says first base umpire Jake Britt. So no runs, no, one hit. The hit by Luke Sweeney in the right center field. No errors, one runner left on base. Heading to the bottom of the third, Walter State leads 2-0.
Ball State is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with professors who inspire, and with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it can be very affordable. Ball State offers small class sizes, 4 convenient locations, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to volstate.edu to get started.
Yeah, always leveling up her game. Soon she'll be ready to start building worlds and bringing them to life. How about Tony? He's forging ahead, learning how he can build his own business and help others. And Timothy? He's flipping the script and charting his own path. Soon he'll be reaching new heights with his degree. What do they all have in common? They're always moving forward. So, what's stopping you? Elevate your skills and conquer your tomorrow at Southwest Tennessee Community College.
Welcome back to the Game Time Sports Network. All Region 7 conference baseball and softball games carried right here on the network. Head honcho Jay Harper is around the ballpark. He's going to be calling the finals for the softball tournament right next door here at 2 p.m. Chat State and Volunteer State. I've already played twice in softball in this tournament. Vol State won game 1. Chat State in a win-or-go-home game 2 days ago defeated Volunteer State to set up the if-necessary game. Here it's day 2 of the baseball. First action that Walter State has seen in about 9 days. They finished their season April 28th out of conference. They did not have to play in one of the 5 play-in series, so they got in a final game. Drew Blaylock leads off. He's the cleanup hitter. 2 balls and no strikes. He flew out to center field in his first plate appearance. Blaylock tied for 4th in the country in home runs with 25. Of course, that leads the TCCAA. Andrew Fulmer at Motlow State at 24, as does Hayden Blair, the catcher for Walter State. Holden Pantier is in 4th, along with Holden Warmoth of Columbia State. They both have 22. Blaylock draws the walk. Walk number 5 of the game for Miller, and he is the old Molly Hatchet song. He is flirting with disaster, putting Walter State Senators on base. So far, one of those 5 walks has come around to score. And that was Holden Pantier in the first. Kenny Cox delivered an RBI single his first time up, takes ball 1. Cox was on that club last year that finished runner-up in the World Series in Grand Junction. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, attended Evangelical Christian. 6'1", 225 pounds. On deck, Miles Shore. Miller delivers right down the can for a called strike. Cox apparently taking all the way. 2-1 count. Blaylock not a threat to steal, but Miller steps off. That's his one and only allowed disengagement for this batter. You can do it only one time without penalty. Blaylock does have 5 stolen bases, does not go here. The slider misses outside. The count goes 3 balls and a strike. Another stat that probably does not get accurately recorded is how many times a player grounds into a double play. That one's fisted. That gets out of play. That fastball came right back in on Cox's thumbs. He had already started his motion, and he's pretty happy that ball went foul. Otherwise, it was probably not going to go about 30 feet. Full count pitch. A full count first pitch foul ball. One year I had nothing else to do while I was broadcasting, and for about 100 games I kept track of how many times when the count became full, the first pitch after the count became full, if the batter swung, how many times did he foul it off, as that just misses outside. And another walk puts 2 runners on and 6 walks. Nobody warming in the Chat State bullpen.
Now batting the right fielder, number 19, Miles.
53% of the time, if the batter swung after the count became full, and it had to be the first pitch after that, he fouled it off in some manner. Might have fouled it into the catcher's mitt. Might have fouled it and been out, but he fouled it off. Major League Baseball, I think that stat's more like 65 to 70%. Pitch right down the can. Miles Shore walked in the first. Then I decided I didn't need to be keeping up with that stat anymore. It's really not that important. Squares around the bunt, lays it down the third base line. Miller stumbles coming off the mound, and nice play by Benny Miller to get the out. Miles Shore lays down a great sack bunt. Put a star by that play for Miller. He stumbled coming off the mound. Was able to get a good throw off to Logan Wallace.
The second baseman, Jackson Berry.
But Cox moves down to second. Blaylock now is at third for Jackson Berry with one out. Swing and a miss on a breaking pitch. Infield appears to be halfway. Ty Newton not playing in down at third, but he's not playing back either. Now Morgan moves back at second base on the grass. Taylor Head in a few steps from a normal shortstop position. That breaking pitch pops in and out of the glove of Luke Sweeney. A ball and a strike to Jackson Berry, who popped out to Logan Wallace, the first baseman, in foul territory to end the first. Looking to drive in some runs here for Walter State. Ground ball too short. This will get one in. Head gloves and throws on to first. RBI ground out. Plates Blaylock. Over to third goes Cox. Now 2 outs. Brings Brady Dalton, the left fielder, to the plate. Walter State scoring a run without the aid of a hit. 2 walks and a sac bunt. Dalton struck out to lead off the second, and again, Miller steps off. Not in sync with the pitch being called by Mike Spears, apparently. Another bunt attempt as Dalton misses the breaking pitch. Schaefer, the left fielder, pulled around a little more toward left field. There's another step off right there, and Miller, it's a penalty, and it is a ball. Miller is saying that he never got on the rubber and got set. Home plate umpire Mark McNabney makes the call. Breaking pitch is high. Chat State wearing that familiar orange-colored jersey and gray pants as the visitors today. Walter State wearing their all-whites. Walter State out of Morristown, Tennessee. Ground ball, that's going to get on through to the right side, and a 2 out. RBI single. Dalton thinks about going to second as Husky kicked it around out in right field. Both walks that lead off the inning come in to score. It is only the third hit of the game for the Senators.
The center fielder, number 26, Luke Graham.
Dalton picks up his 18th RBI of the year. Luke Graham steps to the plate. 4-0, Senators lead. 2 in the first, 2 here in the third. Check swing. Either called a strike on the swing or on the pitch. These two teams played their 3-game series back at the end of February. Played at Walter State. Senators won 12-11 in game 1. Chat came back and got game 1 of the doubleheader 6-3, and Walters won the series with a 9-4 victory over Chattanooga. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at first base, 2 already in here in the inning. Runner takes off and pitches down low. Sweeney's throw is not in time. Dalton with a stolen bag. That's his 9th of the year. He has not been caught. And there is the 100th stolen base of the year for Walters State. Just catches the outside corner and a strikeout looking to end the inning. That is the 3rd strikeout for Benny Miller. But through 3, Walters State, 4 runs and 3 hits, taking advantage of walks. That's 6 of them for Benny Miller. We'll be right back on the Game Time Sports Network.
At Walters State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walters State.
Ball State is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with professors who inspire, and with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it can be very affordable. Ball State offers small class sizes, 4 convenient locations, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to volstate.edu to get started.
Tim Reese back on the Game Time Sports Network. Move to the top of the 4th inning. Chattanooga State looking to break through on the scoreboard. Got their first hit in the 3rd, but now looking for their first run as Major Osbolt has faced 1 over the minimum. That was a Luke Sweeney 2-out single in the 3rd. He'll face 2, 3, and 4 for the Tigers. Ty Newton, Tyler Schaefer, and Logan Wallace set to face the big right-hander, Major Osbolt. Osbolt sees one come right back at him as Newton drives right through the middle for a leadoff single. Newton, a two-way player, hitting .325 at the plate. That's his 56th hit of the year. He is 1 behind Taylor Head for the team lead. Tyler Schaefer stands in. He lined out to the left fielder in his first plate appearance. Another left-handed hitter. Takes a slider on the inside corner. Chattanooga State attempts the least number of stolen bases in the conference. Come into today's action having attempted only 32 stolen bases, and they were successful 27 times. So don't expect Ty Newton to be off. 0-2 pitch, Osbolt. He does not agree with that stat. He wants to keep him close, throws over to first. Schaefer hitting .333, playing in his 46th game of the year. That pointer finger extended on his left hand, he grounds this, could be 2. And a bobble, and it's going to be none. Jackson Berry could not get the handle as Schaefer reaches on the E4. First error of the ball game for either team. Official scorer for today's game is Richard Murray. He's on the TCCAA conference leadership team. Commissioner Mike Campbell up in the press box as well. 2 on for Logan Wallace. He grounded out to short, leading off the 2nd inning. Takes a slider outside. Osbolt maybe going with that breaking pitch a little more second time through the order. Fastball on the outside corner. Wallace hitting .304. He's got 42 hits. Their cleanup hitter that has 1 home run. They don't hit a lot of them. 36 home runs for the season. That is tied for 8th place with Jackson State. They got a big ballpark there at Chattanooga, though. On deck, Coleman Neese. 2 on, nobody out. Swing and a miss, and down goes Wallace on a pitch, probably out of the strike zone. 7th strikeout of the game for Osbolt.
Now batting the center fielder, number 1, Coleman Neese.
Came in with 81 strikeouts, 3rd in the conference. Braden Suggs came in with 107 at Cleveland State. Max Owen, his teammate, 85 strikeouts. Osbolt with 81, and 2 teammates behind him, Preston Allen and Tim Tyler. .79 and 71 as he gets ahead of Coleman Neese. Osbolt, that's grounded foul. Neese struck out looking in the second. Walter State is 3rd in the country as a team in strikeouts, 514 coming in. They're also 3rd in strikeouts per game, per 9 innings. 3rd with just over a dozen of those. So not only can they hit it, they can pitch it as well. Coleman Neese, 1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 out, or 1 out, 2 on, and a time violation is called by our third base umpire, who sometimes stands in the middle of the field. That's David Mayberry, who called the time violation, and that is basically like stepping off the rubber more than once. It's a ball to the batter, so the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Neese in a crouch, comes out of it and fouls it back. Our producer director here, Jonas Harmon, was high school mate with Coleman Neese, had a couple of classes with him. I'm sure you both sat right in the front row, didn't you? 2-2 pitch, smashed foul. That will scatter some of the spectators standing down the first base line at the fence. Just in front of the Bill Marbott maintenance barn. The dirt guys here taking care of the field. They love a good conference tournament where there's a lot of rain. Mix in maybe a tornado every once in a while. They love that stuff. 2 years ago here at Columbia State, had a tornado that came through. There was bad weather that came through here about a month and a half ago, I guess it was, or maybe it's 2 months ago. Knocked down the outfield fence and a lot of trees. That pitch hits Neese, and the bases are jammed with Tigers. First hit batter by Osbolt. Dave Shelton standing in his dugout as Taylor Head comes to the plate as the tying run. Single by Newton up the middle on the first pitch of the inning. Tyler Schaefer hit what looked like a double play ground ball that was not handled by Jackson Berry, the second baseman, and both runners were safe. A strikeout to Logan Wallace, now a hit batter. Taylor Head swings through the first pitch from Major Osbolt. And he gets hit by a pitch, and that's a tough way to get an RBI, but Taylor Head is a tough kid. He rolled his ankle in that Vol State series. Didn't think he was going to end up staying in the game, but he did. I've seen him kind of limping around. But he's a gamer. Ty Newton comes in to score the first run of the game for Chat State. It's 4-1. Hunter Rather, the DH, is a right-handed hitter with the bases loaded. Breaking pitch misses high and outside. Right now that's an unearned run, but it could become earned depending on what happens. You can't assume a double play, but you can assume that Jackson Berry should have gotten one out. There's a foul tip into the glove, and Osbold ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On deck, Tyler Husky. Rather, opportunity to drive in a couple runs with a single or more. .361 hitter coming into today's action. 44 hits, 31 RBIs. He fouls that one out of play over toward the makeshift parking lot for the workers here in the TCCAA Conference Tournament. Rather struck out looking, leading off the third, and he flails at a breaking pitch in the left-handed batter's box. He's down on strikes. Now that makes that run unearned. That should have been the third out of the inning. Tyler Husky's coming to the plate to see if he can make that error hurt even more. 2 outs and the base is still loaded with Tigers. Fastball whispers at the outside corner for a called strike. Husky takes a slider outside. Osbold did not start the very first game he pitched this year. That was a relief appearance against USC Salkatachi. Could be Salkahatchee. Walter State played them 7 games. Nope, make it 5. They were scheduled to play 7. That was at the end of January. They got in 5. Those 5 wins for Walters. And a check swing on the 1-2, and Husky is down on strikes. That's the 9th strikeout of the game for Major Osbold. 1 run, it was unearned on only 1 hit. That was Newton's. 1 error, 3 runners left on base. Big opportunity missed right there by Chattanooga State. We're heading to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching the Game Time Sports Network.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient. It's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
Yeah, always leveling up her game. Soon she'll be ready to start building worlds and bringing them to life. How about Tony? He's forging ahead, learning how he can build his own business and help others. And Timothy? He's flipping the script and charting his own path. Soon he'll be reaching new heights with his degree. What do they all have in common? They're always moving forward. So, what's stopping you? Elevate your skills and conquer your tomorrow at Southwest Tennessee Community College.
Tim Reese on the Game Time Sports Network. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. 4-2, Walter State leads. Benny Miller back out on the mound for Chattanooga State. Let's see if he can throw up a 0 here and get his club back in the dugout. They can see if they can chip away. Had a golden opportunity there in the top of the 4th inning. Could only scratch one unearned run. Ty Newton led off the inning with a solid single right past the ear of Major Osbolt. Then Tyler Schaefer hit a ground ball. Jackson Berry might have been licking his chops maybe a little bit too much. It was a tailor-made double play ball, but just never could get the handle on it. And then a couple of hit batters drove in the first run of the game for Chat, and that's all they got as Osbolt strikes out Rather and Husky to end the inning. 9 strikeouts for Major Osbolt. Top of the order for Walter State, that's Cole Fenton, be followed by Holden Pantier and Hayden Blair. A lot of firepower in this Walter State lineup. Cole Fenton pops this one up, playable in foul territory for Logan Wallace, over by his dugout and makes the catch. Cole Fenton now 0 for 2 with a walk. He was the leadoff hitter a year ago for Walter State. Holden Pantier also in the starting lineup for, they were the number 1 seeded team going into the World Series last year. Slider in there for a called strike. Pantier takes it. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Just past an hour played here. It's just past noon Eastern time. We're in Central Time Zone. Another pop-up. This is in shallow center field. Ben Morgan with the international sign of I got it as he waves his arms in the air. Makes the catch for out number 2. Blair will come to the plate, one of 3 Senators with base hits in the game. Probably not a lot of games Walter State has played, and they've gotten to the 4th inning and out away and only have 3 hits in a game. Miller picks at that outside corner and gets a call. He has worked around somewhat, 6 walks. 3 of those walks have come in to score. RBIs by Kenny Cox and Brady Dalton on base hits. Jackson Berry got an RBI on a ground out. The other run scored on a wild pitch. That was the first run of the game. Blair, a redshirt sophomore from Georgia. That's a pop-up into shallow left field. Out goes Ty Newton. On comes Schaefer, and he makes a running catch for out number 3. That was not easy. They were shifted well around to the right side, and Schaefer had to run a long way. But there's a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the 4th. We're through 4. Walter State leads 4-1. You're watching the Game Time Sports Network.
Walter State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walter State.
Ball State is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with professors who inspire, and with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it can be very affordable. Ball State offers small class sizes, 4 convenient locations, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to volstate.edu to get started.
Volunteer State got their commercial in. Dr. Wendy Tossenson, the president, watching and listening earlier in the tournament, and she said, hey, we don't have one in there. Jay Harper said, well, we need somebody to send us one. So not sure if Jen Shawley, the head marketing director at Vol State, got on the hop and got that little spot right there, little 30-second spot. Ready for the Game Time Sports Network broadcast. 9-1-2 to face Major Osbold, who's through 4 innings. Giving up 1 unearned run, 9 strikeouts. Has plunked a couple batters. Sweeney, first base runner for Chat State, back in the 3rd inning, a 2-out single. But he was stranded as Osbold struck out the side. Couple of high fastballs to start off Sweeney's at-bat. Coahuila Creek. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing Coahuila correctly. That's the high school that Luke Sweeney went to. Richard Murray, the geography expert, says that's exactly right. He's a world traveler. 3-0 pitch right on the outside corner for a called strike. Okay, not far away from the eastern part of the state of Tennessee. 3-1 swung on and missed. Sweeney picked up his 27th hit of the year. Caught both games of the doubleheader against Volunteer State, and he fouls that one into the glove of Hayden Blair. And that's the 10th strikeout, 3rd in a row for Osbold as he starts off the 5th inning. He's now 1 away from his season high of 11 strikeouts against Dyersburg back on March 26th. A 9-1 victory for Walter State. Ben Morgan, in his 3rd plate appearance against Osbold, fouls the first pitch off. He's flown out and struck out. Osbold has struck out every batter in the lineup so far except the 3-hole hitter Tyler Schaefer. And a couple of them have gone down twice. Breaking pitch just outside. That pitch in there for a called strike. Osbold with a 2-2 pitch. Fouled off. Morgan does lead the conference in on-base percentage at .591. 20-plus points above Hayden Blair, the Walter State catcher. And a full count. Pitch coming to Morgan. See if Osbold comes with the heater. 3-2 pitch. It's a heater, and it's a full count. First pitch, foul ball. Waiting on deck in game number 2, Columbia State to host Dyersburg State, who won a couple of nights ago over Cleveland State. Dyersburg State, the number 6 seed. Only 6 teams in the tournament. Morgan draws the walk as he yells at the pitch. Morgan's yelling at the umpire saying, no, that's not in there. Morgan Picks up his 49th walk of the year. First walk of the game by Osbolt. A one-out base runner for Ty Newton. Rockvale High School. Morgan thought about going as that pitch got in the dirt. Blair came up with it quickly enough. Morgan scampers back to the bag. It says that Newton's a switch hitter. I've seen him only face right-handed batters. Throw over to first. Morgan back in time. Brady Dalton's in left for Walter State. Luke Graham in center. Miles Shore in right. Holden Pantier, Cole Fenton on the left side of the infield. Jackson Berry, Drew Blaylock on the right side. Hayden Blair behind the plate. Catching the right-hander, Major Osbold, who drops a breaking pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. 4 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for Walter State. 1 run, 2 hits. No errors for Chat. They put 16 on the board against Southwest Tennessee here the other night. A little different here, facing the 13th ranked Senators. Steadily climbed the top 20. Ty Newton has to fix the strap on his ankle guard. Waves the bat while he's in the batter's box. Body still, but the bat moves as he takes what looks like a changeup that died when he got to the plate for ball 2. Newton, a .325 batter. Tied with a club lead in home runs. Ben Morgan on first base, a leadoff batter. And a swing and a miss on a fastball, maybe a little above the letters and outside. And there is the 11th strikeout of the ball game for Osbolt.
Now batting the left fielder, number 15, Tyler Schaefer.
Tyler Schaefer 0 for 2. Reached on an error, lined out to the left fielder as Osbolt steps off, and he has an issue with what he's seeing on his watch. I don't think that's an Apple Watch. Communication device. Pitch is being called. Another throw over, and Morgan is back. Fouled out of play over the third base dugout. Another foul. This one gets off the screen. Logan Wallace hoping to get an at-bat here in the top of the 5th. Another throw over to first. Schaefer, a Portland Panther, waiting for Osbolt to deliver the 0-2. He was used to wearing purple in high school. Portland Purple Panthers. And here's the 0-2. It sails high. .62", 220-pound freshman. Played first base in game 1 against Vol State and then moved out to left field when Logan Wallace moved from third over to first. Ty Newton was pitching in game 1, and that's why Wallace played third. Schaefer played first, but Newton, he was a second-team all-conference outfielder. I don't know how many games he played in the outfield, but the only games I've seen him play, he's been at third base. But this is only the third game I've seen him play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at first. Osbolt delivers off speed, down low, we'll have a full count pitch. Coming to Schaefer, Morgan will be off, or should be, with the pitch. Drew Blaylock telling Osbolt now, hey, I'm playing behind, with the left-handed batter up. Miles Shore, the right fielder, is pulled around to pull. Luke Graham playing on the right side of dead center field. There's a ground ball off the handle, bobbled again by Barry, and he tries to recover, throws it away. Kicks off of the Chattanooga State dugout wall, and that's going to be the second error on Jackson Barry, who's not having the day he envisioned he'd have when he was eating his breakfast at the hotel. And that puts 2 on with 2 out. Schaefer, the recipient of some errant plays by Barry at second base. Logan Wallace 0 for 2. Takes a called strike on the outside corner. Shows 385 on this brand new wall out here that Bill Marbett and crew, Game Time Sports Field, line to line, companies that he's involved with. There's a nice stab on a breaking pitch that Blair had the Gumby arm there to keep from the backstop. Runners stay at first and second. But that tornado or high winds or whatever it was that came through here tore down the wall, and Columbia State had to play at, was it Columbia Central High School, I think, a series, and then had to go up to ES Rose Park up in Nashville, the home site of my alma mater, Belmont University. It's also the home or the alma mater of Desi Ammons, the head coach here at Columbia State. So he probably got Dave Jarvis on the phone, said, hey, we need a place to play these Columbia State or Walters State Senators, and they played Walters State at Rose Park and won the series 2 out of 3 games. Ball 2 strike pitch from Osbolt, and that's fouled into the Senators dugout. That's Lorenzo Atwell that's handling the ball boy duties today, number 7. Right-handed pitcher from Marietta, Georgia. If you're going to do the work there, then I'm going to give you the call out. 1-2 pitch to Wallace. He tries to check his swing. No call by McNabney. They're going to check at first base. And Jake Britt says no, he did not go. Two runners on, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning of a 9-inning game, and there's a called strike 3 on a pitch that winks at the outside corner. That's the 12th strikeout of the ball game for Major Osbolt as he pitches around the walk and the error. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 2 runners left on base. If this was a 7-inning softball game, this would be the 7th inning stretch. But it's not. We'll be right back on the Game Time Sports Network.
Yeah, always leveling up her game. Soon she'll be ready to start building worlds and bringing them to life. How about Tony? He's forging ahead, learning how he can build his own business and help others. And Timothy? He's flipping the script and charting his own path. Soon he'll be reaching new heights with his degree. What do they all have in common? They're always moving forward. So what's stopping you? Elevate your skills and conquer your tomorrow at Southwest Tennessee Community College.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient, it's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
Jay Harper says I'm back. I mean, the big dog in the big seat right now. Jonas apparently needed a little time away, so Jay Harper sitting in the producer-director chair right now as we start the bottom of the fifth inning. It's Benny Miller still out on the hill for Chattanooga State. Did see some action last inning in the bullpen. A check swing, base hit. I mean, you know you're living right there. Drew Blaylock did not mean to swing the bat. Breaking pitch, he was expecting a fastball. He got the bat out there and just basically played pepper between first and second base. Logan Wallace dove for it, but could not come up with it. Blaylock now 1 for 2 as he leads off with an excuse me single. And now the hits have caught up with the runs for Walter State. That's a foul ball by Kenny Cox trying to lay down a bunt. He's 1 for 1. He's been on base both times he's come to the plate. Singled and drove in a run in the first, walked and scored in the third. Not squaring this time. Slider misses away. Walter State, 4 games last year at Chattanooga State. Won all 4. Fly ball out to center field. Coleman Neese in and continues going over into right center field. Wind blew that one over toward the right field line as Cox gets retired for the first time today. Walters took on Southwest Tennessee last year. That was at Chat State. We did have rain issues there as well. So some of those games, actually, Jay Harper had to get in his truck and head down to Cleveland State to call a couple games. So we had 3 broadcasts going at one time, softball and 2 baseball. As Miles Short takes a called strike. Walters won their game 8-7. Close game with the Salukis, but then took care of Cleveland State 12-3 in 7 innings. Actually, only had to play. Oh, that was Jackson State was the first one. That was a 12-2 winner. So that was game 2 that Walters had a little struggle there with the Salukis. Then breezed on through as the conference champion, a 12-1 win. I want to say Holden Pantier may have hit a home run to walk that off in the Mercy Rule, 12-1 over Pellissippi State, who was playing in their first year. Another pop-up, this one out to right field. Husky looks like he has it. He continues to go to the line, makes the catch for out number 2. Pellissippi State in their first year in conference play in baseball action. They had an outstanding athletic year for a first-year JUCO baseball and their men's basketball team both finished runner-up in the conference tournament. Jackson Berry at the plate. 0 for 2, takes a called strike. A ground out. Drove in a run in the third. And I know he's thinking about doing something big at the plate. Something more than a hit by pitch, but he backs away from that inside fastball. When you don't have the day in the field with the glove that you'd like to have, as he's picked up a couple of errors, you want to make amends with the bat. One ball, one strike pitch from Miller. Misses inside. Several players on Walter State from Science Hill out of Johnson City, Tennessee. Starting pitcher Major Osbolt from Science Hill. Jackson Berry. Another right-hander, Ryan Smith. That looks like 3. 3-1 pitch. That catches a good portion of the plate, taken for a strike. Brady Dalton is on deck. 2 outs, a runner at first. Leadoff, single by Drew Blaylock, and he is still there after a couple of flyouts. Kenny Cox and Miles Shore. Barry fouls that one over to the right side. Another full count first pitch foul ball. If you were trying to keep up with that on a separate sheet of paper. Game time temperature was 60 degrees. We haven't gotten too much higher. It's 63 currently in Columbia, Tennessee. Middle Tennessee, runner off with the pitch, and it is a strike at the top of the letters. Called strike 3. That's the first strikeout since the 3rd. That's the 4th for Miller. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We're through 5 scheduled. 4-9. Walter State leads 4-1.
At Walter State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walter State.
Walter State spot right there. Athletic Director Derek Creech and Assistant Athletic Director, they might call her an Associate Athletic Director, Avery Swinson. They're here. They're at all the conference tournaments. They got teams that are usually in it toward the end of whatever conference tournament you're playing. Of course, the men's basketball and women's basketball teams won the conference tournament that Jay Harper and I broadcasted back at Vol State this past year. They are perennially up there. I said at the beginning of the broadcast that Walter State the baseball team has won this conference tournament a dozen times in the last 25 years. Coleman Neese leads off the top of the 6th. Major Osbolt, 5 innings, 12 strikeouts. Walked 1 batter, plunked 2. One of them was Coleman Neese. That loaded the bases, and then he hit Taylor Head. The next batter, that's the only run that has come across for Chattanooga State. Fly ball out to right center field. Luke Graham and Tyler Husky run into each other. Husky, as the name would imply, he takes over. He makes the catch. You don't like to see 2 outfielders run into each other, especially on a ball that high hit. There should be a lot of communication going on there. Squaring around to bunt his head. He takes a called strike on a pitch that winks at the outside corner. Ball that high in the air. Most of you out there know that communication between the center fielder and either corner outfielder, if the center fielder calls for it, the corner outfielder needs to bow out. Husky apparently thought, that ball's coming right to me. Wind's blowing it my way. I'll have that land right into my glove. Swing and a miss by Taylor Head. Oh, I'm sorry. I got the wrong team, don't I? Now I'm understanding. You're right. That's Chat State. I just put Chat State out in the field while Chat State was batting. As Head goes down on strikes. Thank you to Augie Gallardo, the pitching coach here at Columbia State. He's paying attention. He's running the scoreboard. Miles Shore and Luke Graham, not Husky. So I actually had put Husky on the Senators, hadn't I? Greg Dennis wouldn't like that. Hunter Rather, the DH at the plate. He struck out twice, once looking, once swinging. And he's at a 1-1 count. I'm sitting here looking at the defensive alignment that I have. I saw Luke Graham. I just had a mental moment there. "13 strikeouts for Osbolt. That one's fouled off. His teammate Preston Allen, one of the top pitchers in the country in terms of strikeouts per 9 innings. 15.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's only pitched 45-plus innings. Osbolt with 56 as he picks up strikeout number 14 and a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. Not sure how long he'll go in this contest, but he is breezing right now in the 6th. Everything looks smooth. 4-1, Walter State leads. They'll come to the plate in the bottom of the 6th. You're listening to the Game Time Sports Network.
Ball State is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with professors who inspire. And with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it can be very affordable. Ball State offers small class sizes, 4 convenient locations, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to ballstate.edu to get started.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient, it's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
Longest outing of the year for Benny Miller. He went through the 5th inning as he is now out for the 6th. His longest outing was the 4 innings in relief against Vol State back on last Thursday. Prior to that, 3 innings at Cleveland State. That was a start. Gave up a hit, a run, walked 5 and struck out 4 in that game. Did not get the decision in a 9-6 victory by Chattanooga State at Cleveland State. That was a non-conference doubleheader between Chat State and Cleveland State in mid-April. 8-9-1 due to face Benny Miller. He's given up 4 runs they're earned on 4 hits. His biggest issue has been the base on balls. Gets a swing and a miss by Brady Dalton, who looked like he was going for the downs there. Slider misses farther out. Dave Shelton coaching down at third base. Swing and a miss. Pitching coach is Sean Robinson. 2 other assistant coaches, Logan Hewlett and Trey Massengill. Not sure which one of them's down there at first base. Augie, do you know which one of his assistant coaches is? Dalton 1 for 2 with an RBI. He had a single in the 3rd. Drove in the 2nd run of that inning, the 4th run of the game. And he swings through a 2-2 pitch and another strikeout for Brady Dalton. That's his 5th. The former Farragut Admiral, located just west of Knoxville, Tennessee. Now Luke Graham. What if they call him Doc? The old time, what was Doc Graham's first name? It was like, starts with an A. From that movie, Field of Dreams. Is Moonlight. Okay, that was it before he was Doc, right? It's like Arthur or something. Archibald. It was an A. Archibald Graham. Moonlight Graham turned into Luke Graham. Turned into Doc Graham. Maybe he had a kid named Luke or a grandson. Maybe this is him. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. There's a 2-ball, 1-strike count with nobody on. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Walters State, the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. Ball's hit high out to center field. Back goes Neese. And at the warning track, he leaps. Not sure that he knew how close he was to the fence. He did not get to the fence. But that is a deep fly out by Luke Graham. Back to the top of the order, 4th time through, Cole Fenton to face Benny Miller, who's, as I said, worked around 6 walks. No extra base hits. All are singles. And really, not too many of them tagged really hard. Walters State, they can bust out and put an 8 spot on you in no time in any inning. Gets a called strike there. So Miller only 23 innings coming into today's game, hoping to get through the 6th. And that's lined out to right field. On comes Husky. Did he keep it in the glove? He did. Don't call me Miles Shore. That is actually Tyler Husky with the inning-ending Superman dive and catch to retire Cole Fenton. Now 0 for 3. Put a star by that one. And Benny Miller is through 6. They're on the underside of the lead, though. 4-1, Walters State still leads. Major Osbolt out for his 7th inning. We'll take a break and be right back on the Game Time Sports Network.
At Walters State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walters State.
Ball State is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with professors who inspire. And with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it can be very affordable. Ball State offers small class sizes, 4 convenient locations, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to ballstate.edu to get started.
Tim Reese, Jonas Harmon. Back on the Game Time Sports Network, moved to the top of the 7th inning, a 9-inning contest. here in Game 3 of the conference tournament, 6-team tournament this year. It's typically been an 8-team two-and-out tournament. All 11 teams made it to the tournament last year, but 3 play-in games gets rid of 3 teams right away. This year it was 5 basically play-in series where 2 through 11 had to play a best of 3, as Tyler Husky, who made the sparkling catch to end the bottom of the 6th, leads off for Chat State here in the top of the 7th. Breaking pitch misses outside. Husky 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. Line down the right field line, but it will not stay fair and it won't stay in the park. It will leave Dave Hall Field. Dave Hall is down at the hospitality area underneath the Bill Marbott Pavilion, maintenance pavilion. Or at least he was the other day, along with Eddie Campbell, softball field named after Eddie Campbell. So Bobby Hudson, Vol State athletic director, and he's the men's director for baseball, was down in the maintenance shed the other day, and he said, if you're here at Columbia State and a field's named after you, you have to do the grilling during the conference tournament. 1-2 pitch, misses outside. Osbolt trying to get his 15th strikeout of the game. And the count goes full. On deck, Luke Sweeney. Osbolt rocks and fires. Popped up. That will get out of play. Another full count, first pitch, foul ball. If you're keeping track of something like that. And another 3-2 pitch to Husky. That's lined out to the gap in right center field. Nobody's getting that one. It will 1 hop, 2 hops to the fence. And our first extra base hit of the day, delivered by Tyler Husky, who's now 1 for 3. He plugs the gap in right center field.
Now batting for the Tigers, the catcher, number 10.
Chattanooga State with their second leadoff hit of an inning. Ty Newton had the leadoff single in the 4th. Now Sweeney, who's 1 for 2, is going to have to wait. Dave Shelton has made the call. Major Osbolt will leave the game after giving up the leadoff double to Tyler Husky. And he will finish with 6 innings. Having given up 3 hits. 1 run at this point. That runner on base is his responsibility. Walked 1. 14 strikeouts, his season high. Did plunk 2 batters. Faced 26 and is in line for his 7th win of the year if Walter State can maintain the lead. See if we can get a number on our new left-hander. Got it. Clint Brummett has it. He's all over it. That's a good PA man right there. Tim Tyler on in relief. And he is the first team all-conference relief pitcher from Walter State. Tyler from, assume that's Delaware. Bear, Delaware. 6'3", 205 pounds sophomore from Caravelle Academy. You don't see a lot of players with a state code of DE. You don't see many people from anywhere. DE. I wanted to say Denver there, but it just doesn't jibe with the rest of what's on that roster. Tim Tyler is on for his 15th appearance of the year. It's his 8th in relief. Started out as a starter. He's got 2 saves, 5.32 ERA, and 45 innings of work. He's given up 50 hits, 28 runs, walked 16, but he has struck out 71, which I believe is 5th in the conference. He has plunked 9. That leads Walters State pitching staff. And 9, and we're going to have a pinch hitter for Luke Sweeney. Connor Birch from Thompson Station, Tennessee, Summit High School. Summit Spartan, I believe they are, will hit for Luke Sweeney. Sweeney, a left-handed hitter, giving way to a right-handed hitting Birch. First pitch misses outside. So runner at second. That's a double by Tyler Husky. Tyler delivers a strike. Birch, 10 official plate appearances, and he has got 1 hit. Fouls that one back. Does have a couple of RBIs, has walked 6 times. On base average, 438. He's been to the plate 16 times, and he's walked 6 of those. Delivered a single and 1 other plate appearance. Big situation here as that pitch misses. There is a base open, but Tim Tyler's not thinking about that. Birch is a second baseman on the roster, so he's not going to be coming in behind the plate. He is, I don't know, that pitch might have been called a strike earlier in the game. Dave Shelton asking where that one was. Walters State fans not happy, but a full count pitch coming to pinch hitter Connor Birch, and that's going to be called strike 3. You don't let 2 of them go on that spot. And the first out of the inning recorded on a backward K for Birch. 15th strikeout of the game by Walters State pitching. Ben Morgan will step to the box. He's 0 for 2. Walked in his last plate appearance. Does have 6 home runs, so don't sleep on him as a power hitter. Takes a breaking pitch inside for ball 1. Leads the club in hitting, 364. 10 hits, 6 home runs, 45 RBIs is second on the club to Ty Newton's 54. Swing and a foul tip into the mitt. So Major Osbolt goes 6+ innings. Gives up 3 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. That runner at second base is his responsibility. Walked 1, struck out 14. Tyler on in relief. That's a called strike on a questionable pitch there. Morgan didn't like it. One-two pitch is wide of the mark. They call the area between home plate and the batter's box on each side, they call that the river. Most folks are okay with calling the river. They just don't want to call the other batter's box. That is fisted back to the pitcher. Tyler thought about going to third, but instead goes over to Blaylock to get the shirt out of Morgan. Husky, a risky move, moves over to third base with 2 outs. Tyler got right in on the hands of Ben Morgan. Here's the first time I see Ty Newton bat right-handed. He's 1 for 3, a couple of strikeouts, a single, and has scored the only run of the game. Takes ball 1 outside. Newton fouls that one off to the right, out of play. Just checking with Preston Allen's stats. 79 strikeouts, and the most he had in a game, I believe, was 9. Another foul ball out of play. And it looks like he had those 9 3 times. Pellissippi, Wabash, and Jackson State. So I got to believe Major Osbolt's 14 strikeouts is the most by a pitcher. Husky thought about coming home. Blair scrambled after the ball that squeaked through the 5-hole. If you're a hockey fan, you know that reference. When he gets between the legs of the goalie. Apparently that's an area, the 5 spot on a wooden goalie. If you don't have enough goalies, you stick an old, they call him Woody, out there on one side of the rink, and you have different spots for where you can score. I could be making some of that up, but don't let the facts get in the way of a good story is what I've always heard. Full Count Ministries, full count to Newton with Tyler Schaefer on deck. Chat State needs to get something going if they want to get back. Walter State always looking to bust out. There's a chopper, 3 hops. Fenton gloves on the short hop and throws on the run. Nice play by Cole Fenton to retire Ty Newton for out number 3. And after the leadoff double by Husky, a strikeout and a couple ground outs in the inning. 1 runner left on base. As Yogi always says, it gets late early in the conference tournament. We're heading to the bottom of the 7th, and we've got the 7th inning stretch.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient. It's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
Baylor Osborne is the new catcher for Chattanooga State. 5'9", 175-pound freshman from Mount Juliet, a Mount Juliet Bear, Mount Juliet, Tennessee, just east of Nashville, as he comes in for Sweeney. Baylor Osborne. And Benny Miller still on the mound for Chattanooga State. He's going to throw till his arm falls off. As I said, 4 innings was his longest stint. And a lot of times, various points of broadcast that I've done, I do an alumni spotlight. And for Walter State, alumni spotlight is Tyler Myatt, last year's player of the year, as Holden Pantier stands in. 2, 3, and 4 due up to face Miller. Tyler Myatt was the leader in Division I batting average, home runs, and RBIs a year ago for Walter State. And he has played this past year with the University of Tennessee. That pitch misses down. I believe Pantier is committed. Where is Mike? Georgia Tech, that's right. There are a few of these players that have committed already. So he's going to head down to be part of the Rambling Wreck of Georgia Tech. He has drilled one high and deep to left field. That's going to one-hop the fence. Pantier's rounding first, heading to second, and he will cruise in with a leadoff double. 1 for 3. Holden Pantier smacked that one. That is his national leading 29th double of the year. First, I thought it might get out of here. Wind is blowing in from left field, though. It's going to take a pretty hot shot to get it out of here. Holden Blair, 1 for 3, steps in. And there is a left-hander loosening in Chattanooga State's bullpen as that pitch missed somewhere for ball 1. Blair singled and scored in the first, lined out to Benny Morgan, who was playing him deep at second base, and they do have the shift on again. He hits one off the end of the bat out to right field. Tyler Husky makes the catch. Pantier thought about tagging up, but he stays put. There's out number 1. Drew Blaylock will come to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Pantier leads off a second. Blaylock takes a breaking pitch in there for a called strike. I think that's Cooper Hart down in the Chat State bullpen from College Grove, Tennessee. Went to Page High School. That's loosening. Miller in uncharted territory for a couple innings. Trying to get through the 7th. Gave up 2 runs in the first, 2 in the third. 1-2-3 inning in the 4th inning is the only time the 6th he went 1-2-3 as well. Won't do it here in this inning. High fly ball to center field. Coleman Neese finally finds it. He's coming in hard, loses his lid, but makes the catch in shallow center field. That ball might have been hit higher than it was farther. And Blaylock flies out to center for the second time. He's 1 for 3. Kenny Cox, 1 for 2, stands in. So each of the 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitters have a hit apiece, as does Brady Dalton, the 8-hole hitter. And that's 5 hits for Walter State. Kenny Cox, tough hitter for any pitcher, takes ball 1. Holden Pantier led off the inning with a double, just as Tyler Husky had done in the visitor side of the 7th. Benny Miller trying to leave him standing there, and he's not going to do it. That's off the handle, and a jam shot gets Kenny Cox an RBI single. He's 2 for 3. And in comes Pantier to score his second run of the game. Came in 7th in the country with 86 runs scored. Make it 88 now. Cox with a couple of RBIs is at first base with Miles Shore at the plate, who's 0 for 1. Swings and misses. Shore, the right fielder. I was calling him Tyler Husky. He's the one that ran into Luke Graham, center fielder, as they do play on the same team. Runner at first takes off. That is a hit and run, perfectly executed by Shore. I'm thinking, what is Kenny Cox doing running? Dave Shelton pulls out the old hit and run, back-to-back singles for the Senators, as they have runners now at the corners. Brought to you by Line to Line and Game Time Sports Field. That's what we do at Vol State. They are big supporters as pitching coach Mike Spears comes out to have a chat. Jackson Berry will be the next opponent at the plate for Miller. 5-1, Walter State leads. Tyler Myatt, former senator at Walter State last year, hitting .250, only has 72 at-bats for the Vols. Has limited playing time. Does have 3 home runs and 12 RBIs on the season. That's the Walter State alumni spotlight. Berry lays down a bunt. Runner at first taking off. It was a safety squeeze, if you could call it that, with 2 outs. Berry obviously bunting for a base hit. Ty Newton will have to squeeze in a little bit more at third base. Baylor Osborne, the new catcher, and there's a delayed steal. Throws to shortstop Taylor Head. His throw back to the plate is not caught by Osborne, and Cox comes in to score. That will be an E2 to allow Cox to score. It's a good throw based on what I could see. Richard, you got that? Is that error on the catcher? I'm sorry? I mean, if he doesn't catch it, he tags him. He wasn't stealing on the play. That's what I was thinking is normally stolen bases, he's actually stealing on it. But so no error then. All right, double steal puts Shore at second, and Kenny Cox gets the stolen base. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Berry. He grounds to short. Taylor Head gloves, throws and retires Berry. Looking to see if Logan Wallace may have come off the base a little too soon. 2 runs on 3 hits in the inning. And no errors. 1 runner left on base. We are through 7. Walter State, 6-1 lead. We'll be right back on the Game Time Sports Network.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient. It's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
In my mind, honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, always leveling up her game. Soon she'll be ready to start building worlds and bringing them to life. How about Tony? He's forging ahead, learning how he can build his own business and help others. And Timothy? He's flipping the script and charting his own path. Soon he'll be reaching new heights with his degree. What do they all have in common? They're always moving forward. So what's stopping you? Elevate your skills and conquer your tomorrow at Southwest Tennessee Community College.
Tim Reese and Jonas Harmon back on the Game Time Sports Network. Game 1 of 4 today on the baseball side of the TCCAA Conference Tournament. Walter State leading Chat State 6-1. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and 2 in the 7th. 6 runs, 7 hits now. for Walters State. Tim Tyler back out on the mound. Came on in relief of Major Osbolt in the 7th inning. Lefty on lefty matchup as Tyler Schaefer 0 for 3. Reached on a couple errors by Jackson Berry twice. They have not come back. The second one didn't come back to haunt Walters State. The first one did result in an unearned run charged to Osbolt, who went 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, and it was unearned. There's breaking pitch. Sails right across the plate. So his conference leading 4.13 ERA will decrease. Foul tip, just got a piece of that one. And now has 95 strikeouts. See where that puts him. It does put him still behind Braden Suggs. Came into 175 or 107. That puts him over Max Owens of Cleveland State, who had 85. Tyler Schaefer, Logan Wallace, Coleman Neese. To face the big lefty, 6'3", 205 pounds from Delaware. Breaking pitch, curls right across that front edge of the plate, and that's a backward K in the books. His second strikeout. And now all 9 starters have struck out for Chattanooga State. Schaefer, the last batter. Logan Wallace 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. Looks at ball 1 outside. Swing and a miss. Beautiful day here in Columbia, Tennessee. Nice cool weather. Low 60s. No rain in sight. We've had rain the last day and a half. Tried to get a couple of games in yesterday, but originally scheduled it. The updated schedule was 4 and 7. Just couldn't get him in. And another swinging strikeout as Wallace has got the hat trick today. He's 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Coleman Neese at the plate. Smyrna, Tennessee, Stewart's Creaker. Left-handed batter is Tim Tyler, big lefty. He came into the game to face a left-handed hitting catcher, Luke Sweeney, but he was lifted for a pinch hitter, Connor Birch. Struck out looking, and then Baylor Osborne took the place behind the plate. Freshman out of Mount Juliet. Osborne, the catcher, had a play at the plate on the double steal. Couldn't handle the throw from Taylor Head. That may have been just not comfortable as Neese just gets a piece of that. His body was heading back to the dugout, and he had to stretch out the bat on that big sweeper from Tyler. First team all-conference relief pitcher. Another sweeper up. Six Senators on that first team all-conference. Ground ball all foul down the first base line. Holden Pantier, first team all-conference at third base. Drew Blaylock, first team at first base. Actually 5 Walters State Senators. Holden Pantier is the player of the year, as Nice able to hold off on that high fastball. So Pantier at third base, Blaylock at first base. Hayden Blair, the catcher, first team all-conference, and then two pitchers who've pitched in this game. Major Osbold, who is in line for the victory, and Tim Tyler, who just walked Coleman Nice. N-E-A-S, Nice. So a couple strikeouts and now a walk. Brings up Taylor Head, who struck out twice and been hit by a pitch. Chat State's Ben Morgan and Ty Newton are second-team all-conference selections as Head fouls the first pitch he sees from Tyler. Back. Pitcher of the year is Braden Suggs from Cleveland State. Coach of the year is Aaron Bryant from Cleveland State. As I said, Cleveland State was in first place a large portion of the year. Walters State in a showdown with the Cougars at the end of the year. Three pretty close games, and Walters State exerted their dominance over the league. Got into that number one spot, which meant they did not have to play in a best-of-3 play-in series as the other 10 teams did. They sat back, played one game, and then waited. 2 balls and a strike to Head. He checks his swing, and it's confirmed. Count moves to 3 balls and a strike. I do see a Walters State player loosening down in the bullpen. He's just on the bands right now, though. Tyler delivers. That's right down the can for a called strike. Full count. Pitch coming to Head. No Full Count Ministries equipment here. This is all Game Time Sports Network gear here. And the pitch, runner takes off. Pitch right down Broadway. Taylor Head must have thought it was down, and he goes down looking as he's got the strikeout hat trick. 4 strikeouts for Tyler amongst his 6 outs. And we're going to the bottom of the 8th. Walters State could walk it off with a big inning. We'll have to come back and see. You're watching and listening to the Game Time Sports Network.
Walters State, our story is focused on student success. We're dedicated to creating an environment where our students can thrive, both in and outside of the classroom. So, what do you want to study? Pick a program. We've got over 150 of them. Some are transfer programs that prepare you to transition to a 4-year school after you graduate. We also have regionally and nationally recognized programs that immediately make you career ready. Visit us at ws.edu or give us a call to get started today. Write your story at Walters State.
7 innings.
Ball State is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with professors who inspire, and with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it can be very affordable. Ball State offers small class sizes, 4 convenient locations, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to volstate.edu to get started.
Tim Reese back on the Game Time Sports Network. We have a call to the bullpen for Chattanooga State. Number 14, Cooper Hart, out in relief of Benny Miller. 6'2", 225-pound freshman from College Grove, Tennessee. Went to Page High School. That's in Williamson County, just south of Nashville. Cooper Hart will face 8, 9, and 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. Brady Dalton, Luke Graham, and Cole Fenton. Hart on for his 18th appearance of the year, 6.57 ERA. He, like Miller, came in with low 20s innings pitched. Hart appears as though all of his appearances have been in relief. 24 innings, given up 31 hits, 18 earned runs. Walked 16, struck out 19. On to see if he can keep his club close within the 5 runs that they're down right now. And he's ahead of Brady Dalton, the left fielder, who's 1 for 3. I believe that's the only changes in the young men in orange here in the 8th. The only sub so far, Baylor Osborne behind the plate. Popped up on the right side, Morgan out. Husky coming over and in, and he makes the catch in fair territory for out number 1. Dalton now 1 for 4, a couple strikeouts, an RBI single in the 3rd. As Luke Graham, the center fielder, steps in. He's 0 for 2. Chat State, the number 5 seed versus the number 1 seed. As Walter State has come out swinging here against Cooper Hart. Benny Miller goes 7 innings, his longest stint by a long shot. Had 4 innings in relief last week against Vol State. Goes 7 innings, he's up 7 hits, 6 runs. They were earned, walked 6, struck out 5, faced 34 batters. All 6 of his walks were in the first 3 innings. Settled down in his final 4. Did give up 2 runs on 3 hits in the 7th, but could have been only 1 if a throw was handled on the double steal. But outstanding performance by the freshman from Farragut High School. Now a 3-1 count to Graham with Cole Fenton standing on deck. This is inside, and a 1-out walk to Graham. Kenny Cox, the only Senator player who has multiple hits in the game. Cole Fenton, one of 3 players without a hit. You wouldn't guess that. Before a game, you're going to think Cole Fenton's got a couple hits already. 87 of them on the season. Good for 2nd on his team. Holden Pantier collected his 101st hit of the year and his 29th double. He's a stat machine. As that pitch gets on the inside corner for a called strike. Holden Pantier's on deck. Cole Fenton from Dyer County, where Dyersburg State is located. He's from New Bern, Tennessee. Went to Dyer County High School. Chopper to the right side. Morgan's going to go to second for 1. On to first is not in time to get Fenton. He runs well. Good job by Morgan to get a good feed to Taylor Head at second to retire Graham. And let's see if Dave Shelton has some more movement planned here with the player of the year, Holden Pantier, at the plate. He's got a shot for National Player of the Year, just like his teammate Tyler Myatt did last year. Will not get the Triple Crown award like Myatt did, but .488 batting average. And when you go 1 for 3, that goes down. He needs another hit here to keep that .488 going. Was looking to see what kind of hitting streak he was on, and he actually only got a hit in 1 of the 3 games against Cleveland State. So was, I think, 2 for 11 in that 3-game series. He's hit against everybody else. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to get into center field for a base hit. Fenton will stop at second. There's that batting average back up over 488 now. He is 2 for 4. Hayden Blair, 1 for 4, steps to the plate. 330 down the left field line, 320 down the right field line, 375 in both alleys, 385. The signs say on this brand new outfield wall here that was knocked down, along with a whole bunch of pine trees here on the campus of Columbia State. A fourth school is going to be added to the hosting sites here in the TCCAA. Walters State now has lights at both their baseball and softball venues up in Morristown. I saw Chuck Sebastian broadcast at a night game. I think that was against Jackson State. Looked good up there. That ball's hit high and deep to right center field, but when knocking it down, Coleman Neese is perfectly placed out there in right center field, and he makes the catch. 3 flyouts to go along with a line out and a single for Hayden Blair as we're going to the 9th. Chattanooga State needs 5 to stay in it. They trail 6-1.
I chose Columbia State because it was very convenient. It's close to home.
I get a real sense of community, a sense of family.
I absolutely fell in love with the campus and the faculty and the programs and everything like that, and it was so awesome for me.
Explore your opportunities.
Is Jay?
Yeah, always leveling up her game. Soon she'll be ready to start building worlds and bringing them to life. How about Tony? He's forging ahead, learning how he can build his own business and help others. And Timothy? He's flipping the script and charting his own path. Soon he'll be reaching new heights with his degree. What do they all have in common? They're always moving forward. So, what's stopping you? Elevate your skills and conquer your tomorrow at Southwest Tennessee Community College.
We are back on the Game Time Sports Network. Glad all of you could join us for game 1 of 4 set today. Next game, approximately 30, what are we, Mike? We going 30 or 45 minutes? 45, give the broadcast time to go get a little something to eat and take a little rest. Columbia State will take on Dyersburg State, the number 2 and the number 6 seed. And then the loser of this game will take on Cleveland State. That's scheduled for 4 o'clock. The loser of the Columbia State versus Dyersburg State game will be our final game of the night. They will take on Southwest Tennessee. Tim Tyler out to see if he can get a 3-inning save as Walters leads 6-1. He's facing 7, 8, and 9 in the Chat State lineup. Hunter Rather, the DH. He has rather had not played so far today. He's got 3 strikeouts. That's the hat trick. Get another one. It's called the Golden Sombrero. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants a Golden Sombrero. $18 strikeouts, and he takes the walk. Tim Tyler came on in the 7th inning after a leadoff double by Tyler Husky, who's coming to the plate. Set down the first 5 batters that he faced before he walked Coleman Neese. He got Taylor Head on the strikeout. Now has walked Hunter Rather. Delivers a strike to Husky. I would assume the game plan is take T, get a strike, and then see if you can find some green out in the outfield. Tyler Delivers upstairs. Husky from Smyrna, Tennessee, just east of Nashville. 6-foot freshman. A creaker. Red Hawk from Stewart's Creek. Breaking pitch curves and winks at the outside corner for called strike 2. On deck, Baylor Osborne. That wasn't a check swing. That was pretty much a complete swing. I don't even think that one was as hard as Drew Blaylock's, and Blaylock had a single in the right field on his. That is the 5th strikeout of the game for Tim Tyler.
Now batting the catcher.
He's no stranger to strikeouts. And now Chat State is a double play away from dropping this game to Walter State. This is the first at-bat for Baylor Osborne. And just what he wants. I want to face the toughest left-hander in the league, possibly. Tim Tyler. Osborne, 5'9", 175. Mount Juliet Bear. He's a freshman. And that's out to left center field. Luke Graham over, and he makes a running catch to retire Osborne for out number 2. Osborne hitting .292 in limited action, 65 official plate appearances, 19 hits, 4 doubles, a triple, 4 home runs, 16 RBIs, but he's retired. Back to the top of the lineup, Ben Morgan, 0 for 3 and a walk is the final hope for the Tigers. Tailing fastball away from the right-handed hitter, ball 1. Again, 45 minutes or so before we'll crank it back up. Thought maybe Jay Harper might try to get down on the field for an after-game interview, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So if you want to see the official stats, you can go on the TCCAA website and go to schedule results. That's popped up. That will get out of play. And you can review all of Richard Murray's work during the day. How many Dr. Peppers you been through, Richard? Diet Dr. Pepper. That's why you didn't want that free Dr. Pepper I brought from McDonald's for you yesterday. You can look at him. He's a trim individual. Swing and a miss. And they're down to their last strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Long time at Cleveland State. Richard Murray. You're going to see him at every conference tournament as well. Tyler slips on his plant foot there and brings us to a full count. Offering to Morgan. Hunter Rather, who walked to lead off the inning, will or should be off of the pitch. Tyler delivers right down the gut for strike 3, and this one belongs to the Senators. Walter State, their first game of the tournament. All they do is win, win, win. Tim Tyler gets the save. Major Osbolt gets the win. He moves to 7-1 on the season. Benny Miller takes the loss. And I don't know that I know Miller's stats. They're not correct on Presto Sports for totals. But Benny Miller will take the loss. Tim Tyler picks up his 3rd save, I believe, of the year. It is. And Walter State gets the victory. They will move on to tomorrow's 11 o'clock game. So they'll play game 1 tomorrow right here at Dave Hall Field in Columbia State. As our player of the game is going to be Major Osbolt with 6 innings, 14 strikeouts. So he faced 26 batters. He struck out 14. and that is tops on the team for a game from what I could see. Well, that'll do it from Dave Hall Field here in Columbia State for Game 1. We've got 3 more games to go. Next up, Columbia State over Dyersburg State for Jonas Harmon. And our newest producer-director, Miguel's got a last name. I'm going to have to see it written to be able to pronounce it. But Jay Harper is the head man here at Game Time Sports Network. I'm Tim Reese filling in for part of the day, all the day, not really sure.